Hi guys and welcome back. In this lesson we are going to talk about the real estate licensing exam. So what should you know before giving the real estate agent exam? Obviously, once you have successfully completed the requirements of the exam and also your pre-licensing course, it is now time to take the real estate exam. So before taking this exam, you need to keep in mind some important things, and I've listed down 10 important things for you guys that you really need to know before giving this exam. So let's quickly move on to our next slide. Great. So the first important thing you need to know is that you need to give the exam as soon as possible after your pre-licensing course. Now the reason behind this is that the information learned from the pre-licensing course can be easily forgotten, and therefore it is advised to take the exam immediately after exiting your pre-licensing course. The second important thing you need to know is you need to get the handbook. And from where do you need to get the handbook? We will discuss further in this lesson. So the third important thing is you need to know the format of the exam. And the fourth important thing is you need to know what to take with you while going for the exam. So these are the first four important things that you need to keep in mind and which are really important before you give your exam. Now the next point, which is the fifth point, is that you need to find a third-party vendor. And how can you find a third-party vendor? So it is fairly simple. You can easily find a third-party vendor by searching online. And what is a third-party vendor? So a third-party vendor is the company that conducts your state exam, and you need to schedule your exam with this company. Moreover, the sixth point is that the handbook that we came across in the second point, it will give you the layout and the format of the exam. And this handbook will contain all the information you need to know before giving the exam. Also, you need to keep in mind that every state has a different exam, just like it has different requirements to become a real estate agent. However, some portion of the exam might be similar. Anyways, your main aim should be to get the handbook as soon as possible and get familiar with it. Now the seventh important point you need to know is that the test can be either taken on a paper with pencil or on a computer. The next point is you need to schedule your exam with your vendor, because walk-ins are not accepted. If you walk in on the day of the exam, you will not be allowed to take the exam, as you have to schedule your exam with the vendor first, and the vendor will then give you a date for your exam, and then on that date you will be only allowed to give your exam. So these are the first 8 important things that you need to know before giving the exam. Now the last 2 important things that should also be kept in mind are that make sure to keep 2 forms of a valid ID when appearing for the test. And these 2 forms can be either your social security card or your driving license ID. So both are acceptable formats of your identification. You just need to prove yourself on that day that it is you who is giving the exam and it is you who is going to get the license. And the last important point that you need to keep in mind is that remember to read the rules before giving the exam. And these are really important, because the rules will tell you what you need to keep with yourself while coming for the exam. For instance, personal items such as watches, wallets, and even hats are not accepted when you come to give the exam. So these are the first 10 important things you need to know before appearing for your exam. and if you walk through each of these points one by one, you will surely and easily pass the test. So I hope you learned, I hope you enjoyed, and with this, let's move to our next lesson.